family. Thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to be able to host another one of these amazing shows with an amazing man that we have just gotten into contact with, Gabriel Castillo, right? Or is it
That's
Castillo?
it's Castillo, but it's
Castillo.
it's
Okay.
spelled the same way, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah.
Just making sure because there's the Spanish way of changing the two L's to a Y, right? In their
Right.
language, so that's why I just wanted to make sure. So Castillo, it's wonderful to have you with us. Now, Gabriel Castillo is a certified facilitator in mindfulness, meditation, law of attraction. He's a law of attraction coach, yoga therapist, hypnotherapist, sound healing practitioner, psychedelic guide, and through all of that, he's also gained the therapist ability of cannabis assisted psychedelic. That is an amazing what do you call that? Cabinet of stuff that you can do. It's just
Tools that you can
yeah.
share with other
Oh, like an
people.
arsenal. Yeah, a little arsenal. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It, it's his back belt.
Yeah. That's essentially all my backbone because it was all done for like myself, my own benefit, right? It wasn't for the intention of really doing it for others, right? Yeah. Mhm.
That's cool. I'm just sharing this on social media, so give me one sec.
Cool. Yeah,
This
no
is
problem. 444.
oh, right?
That's it funny.
Power numbers. Love it. So, how are you doing, Gabriel?
I'm doing great.
That's
It's a beautiful
wonderful.
day. Yeah, around with family, which is nice. It's always nice to be with family.
Right?
Um, yeah. Really grateful. Just really grateful. Everything's flowing perfectly, and it's just nice to be above ground another day, right?
Right? So, tell us a little bit about what you do and how did you get into this?
Yeah, great question. So I am a psychedelic guide. I am an initiated curandero. So I work with the mushroom, and I work with individuals who want to break out of certain mental programs that they're in, or to rid themselves of some addictions, just to step into deeper areas of who they are, right? To resonate deeper with truths that are in there for them. Um, I'm just here to hold space so people can journey safely and go deeply within.
And since we know about all the old programs that have been instilled in us from the very beginning of our time here till now, of how the mushrooms are a evil entity, what would you say to those that will help them to be more open to having that type of experience?
Yeah, that's such a great. Thank you for bringing that up because um, there is that perception, right? That's the perception of the light and the dark, and it does exist, right? There is good and bad, but they're both two sides of the same coin. I've always doing this work deeply has really helped to transcend the idea of good and bad. It's all energy, and it's all there for us. And it's just really our intention when we use and resonate with these practices that really determines the outcome, right? And how it's utilized moving forward or benefited from.
So, Kid and I, we have not received any formal training from people. We've not gotten certified for our healing. It's just, we were just picked up by our spiritual team and thrown in the fire. And we learned that way. So,
Mm.
with that in mind, knowing that we haven't had that type of training, we would very much like to know what it would be like to to sit in a session with you, doing a one of those mushroom experiences or psychedelic experiences? What would that be like?
To be in a ceremony in terms of you sitting on a fly on the wall with me as a sitter, or are you actually
Participating.
Uh-huh. So what that would look like is we would do a nice intake so I can really figure out where both of you are and what may pop up, right? I want to know what your intention is. I want to know why you're really looking at sitting with this medicine, um, because that's what's going to pop up in ceremony, right? And I want to know how both of you guys are together, right? Is it that sharing space may hold one of you back from going deeper within? Right, so all of this is kind of done during intake to really make sure we can tailor the journey accordingly, right? So if I need a sitter and both of you guys need to kind of separate when you go deeper within, right? You need your own kind of space to process, but to come back together, we can do that and tailor that. But it would look like very basic. It would be us coming together, really explaining the whole process, what to expect, and really setting our intention, sitting around the fire, putting our intentions in the fire, and then coming into the space, the sacred space, giving thanks for the mushroom, giving thanks for the medicine, for your awareness, for your intention, for your ability to be in that space and have the courage to want to sit with it. Because we typically go deep, we go deeper. And with that, we deploy the medicine and we imbibe, we call in all the directions, we go into a nice meditation, so more of a body scan to relax the body, really coax the medicine in, and from there you go on your journey. And we're playing nice music in the background, so we're very aware of how you're reacting, where you're at in the process, and we reflect the music accordingly, right? So if it needs to be ambient or more evocative, we can really tell if you're going through a process or not, and how to really coax that process out.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Uh-huh.
That would be awesome.
Right?
We need to take a flight down to where he's at.
Or I can come to you.
Oh, yeah? All the way out here in Washington?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an extra spare bedroom too. So.
That's great.
And we have a fire pit out and back.
There you go. You got everything.
Oh, that is awesome.
So, any questions from our audience?
Well, I do have a question while we're waiting for those. Have you ever experienced a difficult client?
Yes, that's a great. Yeah, of course. I have. And that was more in tune of me not following my gut intuition, right? Through intakes, stuff of that nature. I typically don't turn down many people I work with, especially if their intakes are appropriate. I don't work with a lot of medications. We can work with medications to get off of them, but if you're one to really rely on it, it's going to be harder for the medicine to speak through. So unless your intention is powerful and you're really there, I can't do it for you, right? And the medicine's not going to do it for you. It's going to show you what you have to do, but you have to be able to meet it halfway. And if you can do that, it becomes very easy. But yeah, I've run into individuals who just heavy in fear, right? A lot of fear, more chemical imbalances from all the medications. So it was just deeper journeys, right? It was just different types of journeys.
That's amazing. And were you able to pull them out of that?
Yeah, some, most, yeah, most all, yes. I only had one who was very, he was more in a detox phase,
Mm.
right? So there's not much you can do in that space. So it was a very more healing, therapeutic detoxification, right? So it was very sweaty, more of a purging, stuff of that nature. It wasn't a very pleasant experience in that regard, but it was very beneficial.
Mm.
So,
I can see that.
freakouts, we tend to invite them. Um, a lot of practitioners will stay away from them. I know that the freakout is where the change occurs, right? That's where the profound breakthroughs happen. Um, so it's really just being there and holding space for that individual when they're very deep in that process and to have the tools available like rape. Rape is tobacco snuff that's
Yeah.
used in Amazon in Peru. Um, absolutely, yeah. So that's when you're starting to have that freak out, especially with the medicine, the mushrooms. It's very much mental in your head. You may feel that you start to not have control up here, very loopy. The jarabe brings you down, so it's very grounding, but it doesn't stop your experience.
Oh,
Oh, that's
interesting.
awesome to know.
Yeah.
That's great to know because you and I want to go through that process. And if we, well, I know if you go a little too high and start seeing teacups chasing you, you could just do a little bit of hop and you'll be good.
Right, right. If it reaches that point where you're like, wait, I don't know if I want to do this, or it's like that, yeah, Hape will bring you back to where you need to be.
That is awesome. And we do have a question from Colleen. What might you experience, and do you see things that aren't there?
Hmm. Yeah, that's so what you may experience, it's really dependent on you and it's dependent on the species that you're taking. So all species react to the individual differently. And depending on your intention, you can tailor that to the species you take. Um, can you see things that aren't there? Um, outside in reality, right? No, you don't see like figures that just start popping up. You may see a slight movement of your environment, right? A breathing effect, if you will. Looks like your environment's breathing, right? You see the consciousness kind of in everything. Everything's kind of moving. But really, when you close your eyes and go behind your eyelids, that's where all the visions are. So it's more of a you see in your third eye, like your visions are in your mind's eye. That's the best way to put it. So that's where you see everything, and you can see things that you won't be able to explain after. Um, and sometimes you can resonate with a lot of stuff in that space because that's where everything is. I mean, we are the universe, and it's all right here. Everything is behind our eyelids, and yeah, it's a great gift if we can tap into that, and that's the opportunity we have to work with these medicines and to go inwards.
That is so true.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, for those that have not done ayahuasca or mushrooms, would you say that they're very different, very alike in that journey?
They're very different. So it really depends on what you're called to. I always say follow your intuition and follow your call and follow what's really calling you, and that's what's going to work out best. Because I can only give my experience of what ayahuasca was and what the mushroom was, uh, and the mushrooms just have my heart because they just spoke. Mushrooms speak. Um, Ayahuasca for me was very symbolic. There was a lot that I had to figure out. The integration was very much me waiting for answers and me um, very heart opening, very beautiful. But it was like I had to wait for the energy. I had to be very patient. Very great lessons. With the mushroom, it speaks. It's as if it's it's waiting for you to meet it where it's at so it can co-create with you. It literally speaks in ceremony, and as you continue that relationship moving forward through microdosing, stuff of that nature, um, you can kind of tap in that, hmm, you can tap that wisdom into your day to day. So it comes to a point where you don't even need to microdose, and it is you. So now you become a knower instead of a believer. You become your own teacher, your own guide, your own guru. Um, there's no more middlemen, right? Things just become you become very aware.
That is awesome. Where you can grow into that and basically be your own mentor during that process. That's awesome. I like that.
Me too.
Have you ever experienced another star seed coming to visit you during this process?
Yes.
That's
So
cool.
that's going to be awesome. There was another question. Oh, yes. We've actually had somebody say, when you say put your intention, there's some people out there that don't know what they like to do per se, because they like everything in life. So for somebody like that likes to do everything, what would you say to them to set their intention into a specific point?
So if they're called to do everything and they just want to experience.
Technically, yes. They like to do everything. There is nothing that they don't like to do.
Right, right. Um, their intention, if there's no trauma there, if there's nothing that they're really to go inwards about, um, I would say their intention would be to just be open to receive whatever's there to receive from it, to go as an open mind, humble, um, and to not carry any expectations, not to expect, right? Not to hear other people's stories and to expect the same thing. Just to go into it open, knowing that you're jumping into a abyss, and that, yeah, that's scary, and that you must have the courage to go into something that you don't know what's going to happen or how it's really going to affect you. Um, but if you can jump past that and feel what it is and resonate with that other side, it's very transformational.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you say you say that you work with your mom also.
Yeah, yeah. I use her as a sitter. She's very, very skilled as a sitter. She holds space very well. So depending on the ceremonies, if she's required, especially if we're working with more individuals, yes, absolutely. Um, she
So
has a great. Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, she has a great passive dance, and she suffered with her own traumas, right? In that regard, um, and it's been she's always taught me to follow my own intuition, and my intuition in that following that has led me on this path, and I've been able to bring it around and help her heal, and through that process, we've really um, grew that bond to do this medicine work, because it was through the medicine that I healed, and it was through the medicine that she was able to heal herself. Um, so yeah, it's very beautiful to hold space with her.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is very beautiful.
Can you expound a little bit on what sitter means?
Yeah, so a sitter is someone, you can say a sitter, psychedelic sitter, a sacred space holder, right? It's someone who understands the medicine that people are journeying with. It's someone who understands energy, right? Because there's energies moving around. You must know how to protect yourself. It's beautiful if you can send energy to people too, because it's felt. You become very sensitive in these spaces. Someone who can stay still, right? It's very much, you must have a solid practice because what you're there for is to be that secondary nervous system for the journeyer. So they're going to go through their journey, and their heart rate might change, their breath might change, you know, a lot of stuff may happen, and you're there just to keep your nice deep breaths nice and calm. You're there to be that secondary nervous system because you naturally mimic up. So the journeyer notices it. So if you can hold that space, especially when they start speaking to you, if they have questions, um, you know, they could go into a state of uncertainty because they don't know what they want. They're dripping, right? They're on a journey. They're deep in a journey. So you must be so solid in your knowing, and that's where working with the medicine comes into place. Because unless you have been there yourself, and unless you know what they're going through, you're not going to be confident in your answers to them, and that's going to be read very, very quickly, and that causes real bad trips.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. So that's beautiful that she is such an amazing sitter. How long are these ceremonies? Are they days?
Yeah. So typically, it's like a 3-day ceremony, right? So yeah, it'll be multiple days. It can be very, very tailored and customized to what the intention is and what one is looking for, right? Um, yeah. So there's a
So,
lot that, right? So if someone needs hypnotherapy, and then wants to go into the psychedelic experience, that can be done, right? It really depends on the individual.
so based on the assessment that is filled out, does that then help you to know which mushrooms you want to use for their experience?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. That tells me a lot, absolutely. And then speaking as well, speaking to them. So I'll have a nice, fun conversation with the individual, send them the forms, and then from there we'll have face to face, kind of like what we're doing right now. Um, so we can really get to feel out each other, um, and then I'll really understand where they are ready to go, where they're saying they want to go, and you know, where where they need to go, right? That in between place. Um, yeah, so the species really is dependent on the intakes themselves, definitely, and what sitter I'll be using.
Okay.
Right.
So
I
when
have
you,
some sitters that are very sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep doing
it's
that. I have
okay.
sitters that are like very woo woo, right? That are very into energy and stuff of that nature. So if the person I'm journeying with is very woo woo and open to energy, right? That's a great sitter to have. But if I have someone who's a doctor and they don't want all of the fluff, they just want the medicine and they want to experience and have the process, then I may have a different sitter, right?
Okay. So when you travel, you bring your sitter with you?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. All right. And you have a facility, I imagine, that you have there where people can come and do it with you.
Yeah, right now that's actually being built out in North Carolina.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh.
Yes.
So is that where you live, North Carolina?
Right now I'm in Florida because we have two plots of land, if you will, or two spaces. We have one in Florida and one in North Carolina. So right now I've been traveling everywhere. So I've been living out of like hotels and the van life, if you will.
Wow.
That's a wonderful experience. It's a
Yes.
good thing that
Yeah.
you don't have
For now.
to live under a bridge.
Oh wow. Mhm.
I've done that.
You have it, yeah. Wow. Mhm.
Yeah, during his drug journey.
Wow.
I know that through that process, I'm looking to heal the rest of the traumatic experiences I've experienced through that. So that's why we're looking deeper into these things. Because through my crystal meth experience, it opened me up to seeing many different things and to being open to more of this type of healing modalities. Like I've never done an ayahuasca before, and set up a with a friend that wants to do it in July. So he's going to take me there in Florida. And the mushrooms is just a whole different type of psychedelic effect that I wanna experience as well.
Yes.
So it's pretty awesome.
So I'm having so much fun with these mushrooms because my note is, so there's a lady ayahuasca, right? So what we're hearing is once you do ayahuasca, the spirit of the ayahuasca is always with you. She is always with you. And I wrote, is there a lady shroom?
Yeah. I like to put it this way. Ayahuasca is it reminds me of Gaia. It's like the energy of Gaia. It is the spirit of Gaia, right? Mushrooms are out of this world. They're not from here. The spores are not from here, right? Spores are strong enough to survive space. So they come from out of here.
Yeah, I believe that.
Well, they say that with,
Cannabis.
thank you. That's a better word than what I was thinking, the M word. I didn't know if you could say that on YouTube. So they say that with cannabis. They say it with hemp. I would imagine ayahuasca is from out of this world too, wouldn't you?
Well, deep in ceremony, the mushroom was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel the mushroom was there when we were monkeys. So the mushroom is what grew our brain, which got us to find all these other medicines in the first place. So I see the mushroom as like the
God particle.
Yeah, the mushroom is us essentially, and we just haven't really awoken to it. And there's a lot of deep depth to it, and it mimics whatever you're looking to accomplish and whatever you're looking to do. So studying the benefits are going to be very difficult because with intention, it turns into magic. So it's really this blending between mind and magic that we're really jumping in towards.
And Colleen wants to know, what might you experience? Do you see things that aren't there?
Oh, I already asked that
We already
question.
asked that? Okay, so there's...
The inner peace.
So there's another one. Yeah. You want to read it? I want me to.
How do you set up your protection before going into these states of mind?
Yeah, that's a great question. First you got to know who you are, right? Because once you know who you are, you know that you're the energy of everything. And if you really resonate with that, and you go into these deeper spaces, it gets to the point where you no longer fear, right? Once you transcend the idea of good and bad, and you know that energy is energy, and you can use any energy with whatever intention, and as long as your intention's good, you kind of transcend the fear of something bad happening or something running into something else. It's all you, right? They're all reflections of yourself. So what's there to protect yourself from? That's kind of how I jump into it with the mushroom. Yes, I always have sage. I always set my intention of protection with my mind, right? I know it's a lot of, especially with this medicine, it's a lot of psychic work. It feels as if whenever you do run into entities or stuff of that nature, it's very psychic. So you have the control of letting whatever in or not, right? So you can, in that space, it is you conversating with it through your mind. Yeah, it's a very esoteric concept. not many I know who resonated or who have experienced that yet. Only few who have been ready energetically and vibrationally, and who have done work, right? Who have deconditioned themselves enough to be able to witness that and still have their feet solid here.
Well, that's very cool.
Well, just like on your website, I really like the way that you worded this. If we are our own healers, then we are our own destroyers, right?
Absolutely.
Which means that whatever you give command to allows to come in or stay away.
Absolutely.
So that is a form of protection right there of setting that intention of commanding all evil entities to stay out of the experience as you're experiencing your own traumatic.
Yeah, it makes sense to me that that's the intention we should set for every day of our lives, not just through ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we should practice so it becomes a muscle memory.
Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of doing the work. It teaches you the power of intention.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Really resonate with, wow, this little mushroom, so this little vegetable, literally answered my intentions. I got what I was looking for out of it, and it was your intention. So now you learn how to carry that in your day to day, especially when you microdose and stuff of that nature. And then that's when things get powerful, because then you can start playing with creation, right? You start to play with these ideas like law of attraction and stuff of that nature. And these esoteric concepts become very practical, and things just become very fun.
How has your life shifted since getting involved with this, and especially incorporating microdosing?
Wow. My life has shifted 360, 180, shall I say. I'm completely facing the other way. It is, I have been able to break free of a lot, of the 9 to 5, of my care for what others thought about me. I no longer care. I'm on a mission. I'm listening to higher, and I'm following myself, and no one else can guide me in this realm. And I'm creating my legacy, right? And I'm just following the mushrooms. And this is here for everyone, and everyone can do this. And this is how we make the difference and create the world we want. We need to be creators. We are creators. So it's time for us to create and get focused in our creation. And that's what it did for me. And I've been able to just kind of really unblock the other side of the matrix, right? No 9 to 5. I don't have to work for anyone. I was able to co-create with the mushroom to really figure out what can be offered and how can people benefit, and what do people need and what's next. And that's where the mushroom is always like, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. So by the time everyone do catch on to what's being done, you're already on to the next thing. It's so beautiful. It's fun. It's just, it's a giant game. And it's just beautiful, and you can see it as such, and just give love to people and just help people along the journey.
So if you do it correctly, then you are literally placing the puzzle pieces that were missing within your life in its proper alignment. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. And that's what a lot of us need right now too.
When I look back at our first experience with mushrooms, I see two people who were kind of in the beginning of their journey, but there was still ego in play, and oh yeah, we got this type thing, and
well, I got it. I had fun. Your face fell off.
he came in and he goes, "Mom," I'm laying down. He says, "I'm seeing all of the
grid lines of the earth.
right of the Matrix.
Uh-huh.
You want to come take a walk with me?" And I said, "Oh, I can't move." And he says, "Why?" I said, "Because my face will fall off if I move."
Okay, you left a very important part out.
Well, go
When I
ahead.
came bursting into her room, it was like the Kool-Aid man. Hey!
Larger than life, you always
Larger
are,
than
babe.
life. It was fun. It was fun.
Uh-huh.
When I
That
went
that
for
was the
that.
part that I missed out.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was the
okay.
funny part. It was like the Kool-Aid man. I didn't just, chalantly walk into your room. No, I was like, hey! Let's have some
I may
fun.
have overlooked that, trying to keep my face on my head.
Yes.
Yeah. When I went for my walk and I saw the grid lines, I'm like, ooh, I want to touch them, but there's people around. I don't want to look like a crazy person.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So we have another question that came in. Um, Inner Peace wants to know, what is the difference in experience for those who do not have their pineal opened or decalcified, and those who have done work and it is opened? Would imagine reality is not seen as clearly?
Mm. Yeah, that's a great question. So, yeah, you have the awareness. You're getting the concept of it for sure. They wouldn't see it as clearly, but the mushroom does the work, and I always say it does the work from the inside out. So it leads. It tends to, for those journeyers, it tends to lead them on their journey. It gets to get them started on their journey, wherever that is, right? Wherever's closest to them vibrationally. That might be getting into meditation, right? That may be, just reading and taking a walk in nature and stopping, watching TV, or just, stuff of that nature. Eating better, right? The mushroom speaks, and it tends to speak to every individual when they go deep enough. Mhm.
That is awesome. Um, so would the mushrooms actually help to decalcify or open the pineal gland?
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. Intention, intention, intention. What's your intention?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. What's your intention, right? It's like a superpower. It's like the mushroom isn't doing the work. It's unlocking parts of your brain to allow you to do it to yourself. You are able to get out of your own way. You are your own healer, right? There's nothing outside. It is the not even the belief that it's happening, but the knowing that it's happening that allows it to happen. And that's that threshold. That's that mercurial place that is just that becomes such reality when the mushroom is just inside your body, right? When you break it down, um, it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful experience. But intention is magic.
So would you also say that you've seen the movie Lucy, right?
Yes.
So would you say that it gives you almost the same type of an effect that she went through opening up her mind?
That's so funny. Um, I would, for myself, I would say so. Yes.
With the right intentions. Yeah.
Yeah, with the right intention. Same with, and it's not even, see, it doesn't do that for everyone. It's as if it's not all us. It has to allow you at the same time, right? So it seems to allow the ones in that actually have a really good heart, that are not bad to the core. It's like it's as if it has secrets and access, but it holds it for it's only calling. It speaks deeply to a few. It speaks deeply to a few, and only those will listen to it. Only a few will listen, right? I had to listen. It told me, hey, stop drinking. It told me so much stuff to stop doing. Stop eating animals. It told me so much stuff, and I was just like, whatever, I'll listen, because it blew my mind that it was speaking to me. So I was like, I will listen just to see what this is. right? Even if it's just my higher self, I'll listen to myself. And doing that and then sitting with it again, it broke itself open. And I was like, whoa, it was waiting for me to show that I respected it or respected myself enough to keep me going on the journey. Um, and after that, I was sold, and I've been following ever since. And all of this has just seemed like a dream because it's like ideas come, but they're not mine, and I just listen and follow. And whenever I have to learn something, things just kind of work out, and I'm able to figure it out. And the mind's just always moving ahead, but I'm always able to be here now. So it's not like I have to meditate or find peace. I'm always just in constant flow, and it's just perfect. There's no, it just is.
Hmm. So when someone is doing that experience and they don't really understand their messages, do you and your sitter help with that?
Yeah, that's integration, right? That's where the relationship with your microdosing comes into play. For us, your microdosing regimen is really heavy in integration. Like I am here to help you cut out the middleman. I am here to break you as free as possible. Um, there are no people who can integrate you or heal you better than yourself, right? I can't figure out your messages. They're inside of you. They're your messages. You just have to put yourself in a place to decipher them, or allow them to come in clearly. And that's what we really teach, to listen to your intuition, to take your microdoses, to get into some of these healing modalities, right? Like sound healing, um, meditation, hypnotherapy, um, these things that will help lead you to that awareness where the messages come in very easily and clearly. And then you're just off and running. Mhm.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is very awesome.
It sounds like everyone should be wanting to do this.
Well, we weren't open at first either until just recently, really. So a lot of these programs are running within our experience are not just running within us, but the whole family as well. So this is wonderful. This is really wonderful.
Absolutely. It's like a re-education campaign because really we're coming back. It's a shamanic revival. We're going back to how things started, and our ancestors, right? The Africa, all the way back to Africa. We worked with the plants. There was no man that was the middleman to God. The shamans, they work directly with the plants, and that's what connected them to source. And then we lost that. And then the idea of middleman became very prevalent. So then we moved from producers into consumers. Mm. So
Yeah.
that's why it's very, you know.
So, our friend Shay and April, who connected us, which we so appreciate, guys, if you're listening, um, they also said that that you grow your mushrooms as well.
Yes, yes.
So I'm curious about that. Do you want to share what that's like? Do you have
Yeah,
like, is it indoors? Is it outdoors? Is it huge?
no, it's very, very small. I typically, because right now the scale is very small. When I do grow them, they're inside my a spare bathroom, right? So they'll
Okay.
be very small, spare bathroom. Monotubs, I'll do monotubs. Um, and I'll always play my sound healing. So I record sound healing for it. So I play tones depending on the intention that I'll be using them for, right? So
Wow.
I get very, very specific. I listen to them, and I use them only for ceremony and for journeyers who I've journeyed with, right? So that's who the microdoses go to. I just don't sell them to anyone off the street. I really want to teach how to have a relationship with them. And sometimes the best way to know is to go all in with it first so you feel what it is you know the power of it, and then you respect the little increments as you move forward.
Oh,
That's amazing.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can see how doing a ceremony with you would
Really benefit.
yeah, help a person in their awareness of setting intentions, their awareness in what they're thinking and doing every single day. We have some clients that have a very difficult time with that, and so this sounds like it would be extremely helpful in helping them to break through, break free from that.
Most definitely. For all those that are wanting to get in contact with this amazing man right here, his website, YouTube. What else? I know it was Facebook is all in the description below, and I also posted the website up above, so you guys can go ahead and go there and find all the information about how he goes about all of these ceremonies and what he does, and it's truly amazing. It really is amazing. So, Colleen has a question. What is the largest group you have had?
Great question. Um, I like to work very, very small and intimate. So I prefer working one-on-one.
Wow.
Have you ever done groups before?
Yes, I've entertained groups, but I found there's just a lot of energy that moves around. And for those individuals who really want to go deep, that really want to get to the nitty gritty, they go in alone, and that's the only way to do it. Um, and that's the way I like to teach them, because my goal is to get them to the point where they can cultivate their own medicine. They can do this on their own, but they have the skills to be able to do it. Right now, they're their own healer. I don't want to create a revolving door where you have to keep coming back to me.
Yeah.
I want to wake you up and let you go, so you can go create.
So, would you say that doing groups is more for like the experience that have already experienced it and worked through most of their traumas, and
Absolutely.
they could just share the energies and everything together?
I wouldn't say that. It's just for those who need people there with them, right? There's an aspect of fear of going in alone.
Mm. Wow, that resistance in what's that word I'm looking? When you are throttling your experience.
Very much so.
Wait a minute. Throttling is doing that, right? Or is it opening it up?
When I hear the word throttling, I'm seeing the clutch goes. Trying to force it.
Yeah, there's that too, isn't it? You want to throttle someone's neck. But I'm thinking of like an engine. When you
Right.
throttle and when the engine, you put it in the throttle, is that is that like bringing all the power into a small section,
Like
or is that
Ah.
opening up?
Narrow pointing.
Yeah, you're under. Yeah, I see where you're getting at, but yeah, you get the idea of it. That's how we get very concentrated, very potent. Our ceremonies are very, very potent, especially when we go deep enough. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So back to what you guys were talking about with the group, someone who is more fearful would want to do group rather than it being so concentrated. So that's where that word
Right.
was kind of coming in.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of it really depends on what one feels, right? So I have journeyers who've done the retreats with in group ceremonies, but now they're ready to go much deeper, right? Because they only take you so deep when you're in groups because they have to contain the whole group. They can't let you go as deep as you can go because they can't just focus on you. Um, so that's, I mean, that's the benefit right there. Um, it's also it's a very intimate experience. Um, we work with a lot of individuals who do not want anyone to know they've done this, right? We work with a lot of professionals. Um, so it's they very much like the confidentiality. Um,
Yeah, I get that.
Not me. I'd probably be like, let's go live and do it.
right.
I just no, not for me. I just understand it.
Right. And then in a lot of groups, there's like the whole integration aspect where everyone's like sharing together. And that's a beautiful experience because it's that group atmosphere where everyone knows each other and can break those boundaries and feel the oneness of connection. Um, but other people who they kind of aren't looking for that. They want to heal their deepest freaking trauma. So they want to go deeply, deeply within. They see a lot of that stuff as like more of the fluff, if you will. I see it all as necessary, um, but some just want to get right into it.
So, what kind of things do you bring to your YouTube channel? What kind of shows?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the YouTube. I like to bring a lot of meditations, right? So I co-create with some other facilitators, um, sitters for myself as well, like Maha. She does some great affirmations. So a lot of affirmations, a lot of mindfulness, a lot of discussions on psychedelics, right? A lot of Terrence McKenna. You'll see a lot of random stuff. Not super random, but just cool. If you're into psychedelics, you'll be into the channel in terms of just being able to get your mindfulness right. Hmm.
Mm.
And listen to some cool lectures. Mhm.
So you said Terrence McKenna.
Yes,
Is that a who?
that's a who. Yeah, yeah, that's a person. That's a person.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Terrence. Who's Terrence?
Yeah, Terrence McKenna is an ethnobotanist, I believe he was. Yes, he was a lecturer, an author, but most importantly, he was a psychonaut, which is just someone who has dedicated their lives to exploring psychedelics, not just recreationally, but in the state, in the sense of um, exploration for the humankind, quote unquote. and and uh, and yeah, the rest was history. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Let me see what Kelly is saying.
That's pretty awesome what you bring to the table with everything that you've been doing. And I want to show my gratitude as well for that because we are going to need you when all of this stuff really
When the shit hits the fan?
when all the stuff really opens up and we go back in time to where we have guides like you to be able to guide us through these type of psychedelic medicines that most of us has been deterred away from. So it's going to be awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, is that a good note to close up? This was a really good show.
Yeah, it was.
You're awesome.
You are awesome.
So are you guys. I'm a reflection of you, so I mean that's why. Yeah, high vibes up.
Right?
So, just to remind everyone that all of Gabriel's links are in the description, and the website's right above as well. So you could find his Facebook, his YouTube, his website, all in the description below. So if you ever want to get in contact with him to find out more information, go ahead and go there and get in contact. So this was an amazing show to be able to share with the family. So thank you for that because we need more people like you in this world.
So definitely go to his YouTube and click subscribe, and then go to his Facebook and click thumbs up, and support him because Gabriel is such a beautiful soul in helping people to heal, and more people need to know about him.
Yeah, and I would love to actually do a session live with you at one point later on. Like first do a just a one-on-one and then go live to show everyone the process of how you do it, and that would be amazing if you're up for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because I like to be used as a guinea pig.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always open to co-creating.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Gabriel. It was an honor to be able to meet you and to introduce you to the family. And yes, it's 3 days until, well, I don't really like to use the word Christmas, but or holiday, because that's also another evil word, but more of a family connection day. Let's call it that.
You know, before we go, I just want to notice or mention that your picture that you sent to us, you've regressed in age. You look younger now than, I don't know how old that picture is, but
You do look younger now.
you do.
Okay. Yeah, see, that happens when I shave my face. I do, that
But-
does happen.
No,
We
there's
actually
a
see it
shift
the
in your
skin
forehead,
and everything.
Yes.
your forehead,
Literally.
under
Wow,
the
that's amazing.
eyes,
Yeah, I haven't done anything but just microdose.
and that's bringing healing. So that was my point, is that when you do the inner work and you release the cellular trauma, it does age regress you. Yeah, it brings health and vitality back into you.
We see more life in your eyes now than in your picture then as well.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I
It's-
imbibed it earlier, so that's great.
Yeah. By the way, you carry the mustache and beard very well. And you carry clean shaven very well, too.
Nice, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are going to make me blush here, man. Just stop it with compliments already.
Blush more. No.
Yo, he is. He's blushing. It's so cute.
Well, this was awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Gabriel, again. And
Thank you.
family, thank you so much for being here and sharing your energies and having that connection and being part of the family. It is an honor to be able to have everybody with us today. We love you guys.
Yes, yes. Mhm.
You're probably not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Always go with the choice that scares you the most, because it's the choice that's going to help you grow.
Wow.
I can't do negative today. Positive vibes, positive vibes.
Hey,
best friend, wait. To the person seeing this, I know you're tired. I know you're fed up and so close to breaking. But remember, you have strength within you even when you feel weak. Keep fighting, best friend.
And again, thank you so much for being here, family. It is an honor to be able to have you part of our family with us. And stay tuned for another show that we will be having really soon. Love you guys.